are so delighted to welcome back Lowcountry author Victoria Benton Frank back with her second novel, The Violet Hour, set on Sullivan's Island, the beloved Sullivan's Island.
Yes.
Congratulations on this latest book.
Thank you.
I would love to know more about this story, but I'm so fascinated by how you've taken the Lowcountry just as part of the fabric of your work, but also of your own life. You're a permanent resident here now.
Yes, I am. I know. I went to college here, and then I went back to New York, and I missed it.
Yeah.
And I've never really missed home. I've always missed here.
Right.
So I also think that place is really your protagonist in all of your stories. And what is more romantic and wonderful than the Lowcountry of South Carolina?
100%. Sullivan's Island, everybody loves Sullivan's Island. It means so much to a lot of people. So tell us about the story.
This is like it's like, how do you explain an entire universe?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful book. I'm really proud of it. I can brag about it because it's mine. It's like a baby. You can always brag about your children. But I think this is different than my first novel. It's a little spicier, which is fun for the summer.
Yes.
But it's about grief, which I dealt with by losing my mother.
Of course.
And a lot of women.
Famed writer.
Yes, amazing.
Victoria
Yes.
Benton Frank. Yes.
The best. But grief shapes you in different ways, and it's not necessarily just the loss of a parent or a loved one. Sometimes it's a relationship, sometimes it's a job, and when you have these unexpected twists and turns in your life, how do you reshape yourself in that new world?
Well, they always say grief, it's nonlinear.
Yes, that's so true.
It's all over the place.
I cried in the parking lot.
Did you?
Yes,
Yeah,
I did. On the way over here,
yeah.
I heard a song on the radio, and I just thought of my mother, and
And here you're coming here and you're talking about your book and your mom being such an inspiration in your life.
Yeah.
So how impactful was having your mom as such a prolific author to be for you as a budding author yourself?
Well, it's extremely ambitious for me to even attempt to do what she did, because she really paved the way for beach reads and for South Carolina books. So I think, your mother influences everything you do. So of course she influences my writing. She didn't, unfortunately, get to read it fully even my first novel, and she never read this one. But I think she'd be proud, and every word I wrote, I think so.
Yeah.
I try to honor her in everything I do.
Absolutely. Well, you say that Sullivan's Island does play a protagonist role in your book.
Yes.
But you've got some really interesting characters in there as well.
Yes.
And so you do have one character that is going through grief herself. So maybe you can share a little bit more about sort of where this story takes us.
So I didn't anticipate talking about losing my mother in a book, and in fact I thought I couldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Like, it was just too hard and too dark and too raw. But like Dot, my mom would always say that when you really want to write a good story, you got to go deep down in your heart and write the truth. And if you're not telling the truth, then your characters aren't authentic, and your audience can't see themselves in the characters. So that's where the character Allie comes from. She comes from dealing with her grief, your father dating again, going back into the world and realizing your parents are people and not just your parents.
That's right.
And I think that there's a lot of transitions that happen within the grieving process. But like I said earlier, grief is not just death. It's also death of a career and a love story. And so Violet's main arc is that she is dealing with an unexpected death of a child, and then she also loses her boyfriend, and so it's this whole, she has to figure out what she wants to do with her life now.
And pours.
In threes typically, right?
Yes, exactly.
It does.
It's true.
It does.
So was this a cathartic experience? Because they say, when you're going through grief, when you're going through these really difficult times in your life, that to put pen to paper and just the physical act of writing something down is very cleansing. For you to create a story and to actually write a book, was that cathartic for you?
Yes. I think all writing, even though they say don't make it therapy, it's absolutely therapy.
Sure.
It's so funny. This is a very personal book, and there were some opinions from my family that was like, ooh. And I was like, well, listen, go talk to Adele about her love stories. If she had a successful relationship, you wouldn't have music.
So true.
That's what we do. It just, you channel what you're going through into your book.
What I find so fascinating, though, is that your career started in hospitality as a chef.
Yes.
So you are astute as a French chef, and how that segued into becoming an author. Do you have plans on marrying the two?
Yes, one day I'd like to do a cookbook, but I think I was an actress first, and then I was a dancer for a while. Yeah, and it was shocking. Everyone's really shocked. I've done comedy before. I've done all of those kind of things, but I think at the heart of artistry, we're all storytellers, and so writing is sort of a natural extension of that. You have a plate of food, and you love it, you can tell where the person came from and what they hold important.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That is such an important point. Well, people are going to be so thrilled to know that you're going to be here in town signing books.
Yes.
And it's going to start on Monday, August 11th. So you've got book signings at Buxton, and then again on Friday, August 22nd, and then again Saturday, August 23rd. So you're going to be at 3 different locations.
Yes.
We're going to put those on the screen, make sure everybody gets out,
Yeah,
gets a copy.
Please come.
And you're going to sign and meet you. I love it. Thank you so much, Victoria.
Thank you so much.
It's great to have you.
I think it's
join
great to
us.
be here.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
We'll be back after this.